Welcome everyone, it's the Crypto Lark. Very excited today to have the chance to speak with Paul from Bitpanda Global Exchange. Paul, how's it going?
Very nice, thank you. How are you doing?
Doing very good. Now today we're going to be breaking down what Bitpanda Global Exchange is. So it's the new offering from Bitpanda, which has in the past been called like the Coinbase of Europe. So it is a big professional exchange out of Europe, and they are going global with a big expansion here. So we're going to be breaking down what the Bitpanda Global Exchange is looking to do, what their token is doing, and all of that and more. And of course, a big thank you to the team over at Bitpanda for supporting the channel by sponsoring today's video. So Paul, the elevator pitch. What are you guys doing on the high level?
All right. So as you mentioned, until now, we were very heavily focused on the retail side of things. So we were a broker, and we were very heavily focused on Europe. So the product was for normal customers that just wanted to enter crypto. We made it very easy for them to buy and sell and trade crypto. We have some cool features like a savings plan where you can actually buy 50 euros a month or a day or whatever you want to do. You can store your crypto at Bitpanda, and really it's a very easy entry into the whole scary crypto world. And now we actually wanted to go the next step and also service the professional and institutional customers. And with this, you need a product that's actually very fast, very scalable, where you can actually have very big order books and a good API to trade everything. So we set out nearly 2 years ago to build the global exchange. And yeah, 2 days ago, we finally launched it. And
congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. And now everyone can use our exchange to actually trade against other users. And we are just getting started with this. So now is really the time to actually bring all the people to the exchange, bring all the traders to the exchange, and start to build everything up so that we can actually provide a service that is in contest with all the other exchanges, and hopefully we can be a good competitor to them.
Well, I think you've got a great brand to be building on top of here, because Bitpanda has been around for quite a long time, and actually you guys have just recently crossed the 1 million user mark for, Bitpanda Classic, we could say. And so the global exchange, you've got now a base of all these customers that you can say, hey guys, we've got this new cool offering that you can also check out.
Yeah, so this was like not last week, I think we crossed 1 million users. And I mean, you have to differentiate the user that we had until now. They are a bit different. They actually like to have this easy experience of not needing to know what is a limit order, what is a stop order, how do I read an order book and everything. So they really appreciate the easy interface, the easy process of getting their crypto. And now we need to target a bit of another audience, more the sophisticated crypto user. So we have some overlap. Also, we have already a few thousand people that are trading on the exchange, but we now need to actually build this up. And this is a new customer base for us. So we have a big way to go. And but we are very excited for this.
So in terms of the customers, you said you're really expanding out the customer base here. So obviously we're talking about not just retail, but it's still a good place for retail customers to go and trade. But we're also looking at institutions and professional traders as well. So I want to break down these 3 different categories here. So if I'm a retail trader, why should I come and use Bitpanda Global Exchange?
So it really depends. What do you want to do? Because if you are like a buy and hold investor, then probably the Bitpanda broker will be better suited for you. But if you want to try out day trading or make trades on news or something where you actually want to react very fast, where you want to open and close a trade within an hour or something because of a news event, then the global exchange is for you. So I think our minimum order is around 10 euros for each market. So very small users can already start to trade there. But in general, you could also do the same on the broker. But if you are now a professional trader that moves millions of euros a day, then the broker was not the best place for you because of the fee structure, and you're not trading against other users, but against Bitpanda. So the global exchange is more suited for bigger traders, for people that are very experienced, and also because we provide a very sophisticated API. So if you're running a bot or a trading service, you can just connect to the exchange and then use the liquidity from there.
Nice, nice, very cool. And of course, I think something I really want to underline here is that this is a fiat on-ramp, off-ramp exchange. Like you guys, you're offering 4 different fiat currencies right now, so you can actually, deposit those and then get those out as well, and crypto to crypto trading, of course, as well. So which 4 fiat currencies are on offer here?
So on the broker, we have Euro, USD, GBP, and Swiss francs. And on the exchange right now, we started with a smaller set of pairs. So there's only the Euro right now, but we also have a USDT pair. And when we grow, we want to expand this pretty much to all the coins and assets that we have. So there will be a Bitcoin GBP pair, for example. And in the future, we really want to expand on this offering. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, it's so important to have a good exchange where you can get fiat in and fiat out. And I think one thing that really, of course, makes Bitpanda stand out as well is that you guys, you've got the history. You're also a very professional company. I mean, your team's based in Austria. I mean, you guys have a license and all that stuff. So you can expand on that a little bit for me?
Yeah, so very early on, we actually decided to not go the crypto anarchy route of not verifying our customers, not checking anything to so money laundering related, or not getting in contact with the regulator. So we basically did the opposite of the crypto scene at that time. So we actually talked to everybody in the regulatory side. We talked to everybody in the banks and asked, hey, what do we need to provide you that we can have stable banking services? And so this was in 2014 when nobody was doing that. And we really built on this. And this year, we actually got our first license. It's a payment institute license in Vienna. And this really shows that all our compliance rules and everything we have set up, they are very regulatory friendly. And the thing is, it always sounds so scary that you're regulated and then it's bad for the customer. But I think it's the complete opposite. You actually protect the customers with good compliance solutions. Because at the end of the day, this also prevents people from getting hacked. You have policies, you have everything to not only protect the site, but also the customers. And we also decided to build everything in Vienna. So all our developers, all our compliance, legal support, marketing, everybody is sitting in Vienna with a very cool office here with 120 people right now. And everybody is extremely dedicated to the project. So, and also everybody is pretty hyped now with the launch of the global exchange, and also the best coin that we just launched.
Which is exactly what I want to talk about next, actually, is the best token. So you guys have just held a very large token offering. I think you guys raised around 40 million euros, a little more than 40 million euros for the best token. So you could tell us what the best token is and what its utility will be.
Yeah, so when we thought about our global exchange, you can actually see that this is now not only the broker product, but now you have a real ecosystem. So from retail customer to professional to institutional, everybody can find the product on our ecosystem. And our ideology was always if you're in the ecosystem, you should be able to use all the products. You should decide. So there's one account and one fund management for everything. So also one security for everything. So you can think of it like a Google account. If you have a Google account, you can log into Gmail, into Calendar, into YouTube, into everything that Google offers with one click. And the same we want to do for our products. And then we said, why do we not want to support this with a utility token that actually helps navigate in this ecosystem and makes it much more cheaper if you commit yourself to the ecosystem. So we set out to build the ecosystem token. You can, if you know the Binance coin, you get some kind of idea how this works. So you actually have people that can buy the token, and once they use the token to pay fees, they get a big discount. In our case, it's 25% in the first year. And also you always get either the market rate of the token for fees or the minimum value that we set. So we sold the token between 8.5 cents and 10 cents in the IEO. and you always will get 12-cent minimum value for the token, and on top of that you get 25% discount. So even if you bought at 10 cent, you still get 15-cent value if you use it for fees. So if you navigate the ecosystem, you have a very big discount. And we were quite successful with the IEO, so we raised, I think, 43 million at the end. And we launched it on Wednesday. Right now, the token actually is trading with a discount. Right now, I think it's trading at 6.7 cents. Mm-hmm. So that's obviously not good. And we are working very hard to actually deliver the best product to make people realize that this has a very big future, and we are all very dedicated to doing this. And so our goal is obviously to raise the price as much as possible. And yeah, but in the end, we are very big fans of free markets. So if the current demand is at 6.7 cents, then this is it. And now we try to increase the demand as much as possible with cool products, cool offerings, and a very good service. Yeah.
Well, you've only started off a couple of days ago, and I think people need to start to get that transition over to the exchange, right? When you do start having institutions coming in and they're buying $1 million worth of crypto, I mean, they're going to... That's a lot of fees on $1 million crypto buy. You'd want to save 25% on that.
But to be honest, I think what people don't realize right now is that we already have a very big broker product, and the fees collected there in the future will also be part of the best ecosystem. So just because the exchange doesn't have the highest volume in the industry right now, doesn't mean that we are not collecting a big amount of fees. Also, once the best fee paying is starting, we already have a very big inflow of tokens that we can later on burn, because that's also one of the features of the token. So I think people right now are only looking at the exchange and saying, okay, they only have like 1 million or 2 million of euros a day of volume, but that's actually not the case. So with much bigger volume on the broker, that also goes into the best ecosystem. So yeah, but we will try to educate and tell people exactly how everything works. We haven't even released the recap of the exchange launch and of the IEO launch. So I think this will happen today. And yeah, so we are still very excited, and we never thought of this as like the short-term project that on the first day needs to have the biggest performance or something, but we want in half a year, in 1 year, in 2 years to have a very solid growth of the platform, and with this actually then have people participate in it. Yeah.
So I mean, it's not, of course, like you said, it's not just about the discount, but you guys are also burning tokens, which is a very substantial thing for long-term, value investors in the token. And obviously, people who want to be using that token for a long time, getting in while it's still, at a good price, is a great long-term position for someone who doesn't want to be using that exchange. But also, you guys are doing a launch pad. I think that's an important thing too, is that you, with a certain amount of tokens held, you get priority access to your launch pad. So you guys will be doing IEOs. Now, have you got any IEOs that you're currently in conversation with? I know you probably can't tell us the names or anything, but I mean, are those conversations being had? Can we expect an IEO on Bitpanda soon?
So what we do with the launchpad is a bit different than from the industry. So we actually set out to not have the standard crypto IEOs where it's a product that is very, has a risk of ruin that is like 95% or something. So we didn't want to go this route. What we feel the IEO will help us is to actually get projects and actually think of it like you have a skyscraper. And right now this thing is for sale. The only people that can buy this are like real estate funds or big private equity investors. Mm-hmm. And our idea is actually to take things that are completely illiquid, put them as an offering on our launchpad, and tokenize them. And 1 second later, once it's filled out, you can already trade the secondary shares of the skyscraper. And then the skyscraper just pays dividend. And we really want to build out this whole ecosystem around this so that we can offer security tokens on real life projects that are actually producing cash flow. And so we might do also crypto IEOs, but to be honest, for us, the most interesting part is actually doing something new. and just doing another product that actually nobody will probably use ever is not the main way to go. I think there are some extremely interesting crypto projects, but right now the problem is always those things are funded by other companies, and only the uninteresting stuff is stuck on the exchanges. So you really need to be careful, have a very good vouching system, and really figure out if you're actually selling garbage to your customers. So that's why we will be very careful and try to build something where we know this will have a cash flow, this will have good growth. Maybe some private equity companies that were never listed, but use this as like an IPO alternative. Yeah.
That's really cool.
So to answer your question, this will take a bit longer than soon. But also the results will be much cooler, because this will also bring completely fresh money into the system. Because somebody buying a skyscraper will not be the same than buying a normal crypto IO.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And obviously, look, the security tokens industry, it's revving up to be something that's going to be massive. And I think a lot of people haven't even fully understood just how much liquidity this is going to bring into the crypto markets overall, because we're going to have all these real world assets coming into the tokenization. Now, just I guess in terms of that, I mean, have you got the license already to offer securities, or are you in the process of getting that securities license?
So we are working on this. There's actually 2 or 3 licenses we need to finalize to achieve this, because we also have one particular thing that we are we wouldn't do this without this, is that if you do an IO of a security token and you can't trade it afterwards, then it's useless. And there's so many security tokens right now that can't be traded. You can sell it to another customer like manually, but if you can't do it on an exchange, why would you even want this? Then you have the same illiquid stuff that you have on in the real world anyway. There's nothing new. So we also want to really be having an ecosystem where you can really exchange this from day one in a regulated way. And so this will take a bit longer, but we announced the launchpad for 2020, and we will try to start this with a big bang so that everybody can see that this is something innovative that nobody has done before. Yeah.
Very, very cool stuff. Now, also in terms of, I guess, some of the back end stuff, you know, security on Bitpanda Global Exchange. Obviously, well, you know, securities tokens, that's great. But what about the actual like nuts and bolts security? So, you know, you're licensed and all these things. So how robust is your security? What are some of the different things that, you know, ensure that people can, you know, safely trade on Bitpanda Global Exchange?
So the exchange itself, we built this for 2 years in-house. So we built all the know-how. We really try to understand every nuts and bolt of the whole industry, because many of our competitors, they start out with buying the boilerplate trading software and then modified it. But you never really understand everything then. And then if you run into problems, you don't really know how to fix them or how to scale and everything. So this was a problem for the last 5 years in the industry, and still is for some exchanges. And we never wanted to go that route. So we could have been online 1.5 years earlier, but then I wouldn't have been able to sleep well, because if you don't know how everything works, then yeah, that's bad. So that was one of the main parts. We have a team of, I think now 15 people that are only working on the exchange from the dev side. And we also had the security audits, where we brought in external companies, and we did this 3 times for the exchange only. And they looked at source code, they did penetration testing, they really tried to break this thing. They were also incentivized to do that. And they found small minor stuff that we all fixed. They gave us suggestion on how to build a better architecture and everything so that we can scale even more. We were now in contact with all the market makers that we are onboarding right now. They gave us feedback on how the API could scale better and everything. So we actually try to get as much feedback as possible and implement all this. But I think the most important question for a crypto exchange is always the security of the cryptos. And there we already did this for 5 years. We have a a long experience of handling the customer cryptos. And we use the exact same system for the exchange. So it's actually the same system. So the broker and the exchange are sharing the same fund management. And we are using the same code management system where we say 100% of the customer funds always need to be offline. Mm-hmm. And if we are getting hacked, this is company money. This would be bad, obviously, but we calculate this as a risk and not as a ruin. Because some exchanges are like, okay, if we get hacked online, then we just shut down. And that's not a strategy that you ever want to do. So we try to keep the hot wallet balances very low, and we are refilling them a few times a day. So sometimes a customer might need to wait for 10 minutes for a bigger withdrawal, but I think that's a much better trade-off than actually losing percentage of your funds if we get hacked.
Oh, absolutely.
So, yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, I think people really have to understand that that's very good security practices. And if you have to wait a little bit longer to get your withdrawal, well, that's okay. You need to understand that you're trading on an exchange that is taking your security very seriously. And I think that's important. Yeah. I think people will appreciate that too. Now, I got just a couple more questions here for you. So obviously, currently the Bitpanda service has not been, the #1 global exchange. So how do you guys really look at getting Bitpanda Global Exchange, your new offering, to have a lot of people come in, to have a lot of new customers come in, to have a lot of volume starting to take place?
Yeah, so right now we focused on our current customer base and actually tried to figure out who would be interested in trading there. But now really the goal is to get professional traders on there. So we are focusing our marketing efforts now on this. We're actually in contact with many of them that are running arbitrage boards, trading firms, investment funds, and we are trying to onboard them as soon as possible. Most of them actually use algorithm where they just check every exchange and buy on the cheapest ones. So we try to get into their liquidity systems. And in general, just expanding the user base. More countries, more currencies, really try to do stuff that others haven't done. For example, go to Eastern Europe, go to Asia and offer the native currencies and everything. So you really just need to expand the ecosystem. And the same is if we have many people that actually start out on the broker, because it really in Europe is the #1 for entering the crypto scene. And half a year later, after they made the first trades, after they feel confident with crypto, they also observed how the price is behaving, then they actually feel confident to go to the next step. And right now, oftentimes they actually go to the competition because we didn't offer a product to go crazy with trading, just to day trade all day long, try to get some good prices in once there are dips or something. So we also will have a constant stream of new people graduating from the broker to the exchange. And so we feel very confident, but this will be still hard work. So we have a sales force that is actually doing nothing else than being in contact with professionals, trying to onboard them, talking to banks, really trying to get this in. I mean, we are now online, I think, for 48 hours, not even. And so this is a process just starting because many of those people, they need to see stability in the service to actually onboard.
Very cool.
So, but this is not a 1 week project anyway. It never was. It's the same with the broker.
2 years
it took us 4 years
just to get the doors open. So I mean,
exactly,
that's pretty awesome. Now, and just in terms of, I guess the rest of the year, I mean, you told us we can look forward to the Bitpanda Launchpad, sometime next year. But what can we expect for the rest of 2019?
So there's some exciting things. For example, that you can pay the fees on the whole ecosystem, so also the broker with Best, and use the full advantage. For example, if you could already pay the fees with Best right now, you could buy them for 6.7 cents and redeem them for 15 cents. So that would be a ridiculous discount. And so we feel once this is online, the price will go up quite fast anyway. So we are trying to get this out as early as possible. Other things are like the iOS app that we actually had to delay a few times and we are now finalizing. So this will happen very soon. And then we have some other cool stuff in the pipeline where we can't announce it yet, but there's some really cool stuff that actually is expanding the ecosystem. For example, we talked about shortly about the license, the payment license. That makes it possible to actually spend crypto in the real world. So we have two products coming up that use exactly this. And I mean, most people can already think what those two things might be. So, but we will be also very excited to launch this this year. And then also the people that hold best at the VIP level 2 or 3, so the higher levels, they will always get amazing discounts or actually get those things for free if we offer those services. And so we feel very confident. I mean, I'm still the biggest best holder after the company, and I'm not losing sleep over the price because I'm so confident that we can get a really good service and actually grow the ecosystem immensely in the future. So yeah.
Very, very cool. Well, for anyone who wants to obviously check the exchange out, there's going to be a link down below in the description. So please, guys, go and check it out. You know, especially if you're in Europe and, you know, you're using euros, it's definitely for you guys to check out. So, Paul, thank you so much for coming on and telling us a bit about the Bitpanda Global Exchange.
Yeah, thank you for having me.